Hi guys, it's Morgan from the Trove and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my January favorites, and I know that it's pretty much halfway through the month of February already, so like no one cares about my January favorites anymore. But I figured I haven't done a favorites video in a couple months, like a long time. And I recently discovered a bunch of products that I really liked, so I just wanted to share some of my favorites. Shout out to my first favorite, which is this sweater that I got in January that I have been absolutely living in. I didn't think that I needed any more sweaters, and I talked about it in my Forever 21 haul about how I legitimately have a full shelf filled with sweaters and I don't need more, but I have been living in this one. I love the high neck. It's really soft and lightweight and it keeps me super warm, so thanks sweater. You were a great find. And I finally redid the green in my hair so it doesn't look like pastel pea green. It looked like a blonde person went swimming and the chlorine turned their hair green. Like, it actually looks like a real green gray now, so I'm glad I finally did that. But anyway, the first thing that I picked up about mid-January that I just fell in love with, that I didn't think that I needed at all, but guess what? You need it, you know. I thought that primers were bullshit for the longest time, but after I picked up the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer and started using it on a regular basis, I was just like, I've been wrong this whole time. My whole life has been a lie. I have been denying myself the magic of primers, and it's just, especially for me, I have really chronic dry skin. I need a little bit of extra something to like lock in the moisture on my face before I put on my foundation, or it doesn't matter how dewy the foundation is, it's going to stick to my dry patches and just look like terrible mess. And it's just in this little bottle like all of e.l.f.'s primers are, and it is still silicone based, but it's just like this white gel. It's just a clear gel that's like a little extra hydrating. You can see like it's a little bit moisturizing, and it's still a silicone base, so it helps your makeup go on and stay on a little bit longer. It's way more hydrating than a typical silicone primer, which is my problem, is sometimes silicone based primers can like dry out my skin or clog my pores, but because the other ingredients in this, like grapeseed oil and whatever moisturizing ingredients that they have in it, here, I think I still have the box. Maybe I finally figured it out because I'm a hoarder and I keep makeup boxes. But whatever it is that's in this that has the moisturizing benefits definitely makes a huge difference. It makes my face look like, if you can see my face now, I've had this foundation on for about 5 hours now and it still looks really nice. It hasn't dried out my skin. Like, you can see my forehead looks kind of dewy, and I like that. I like the appearance of dewy skin. I might look like an oil slick to some of you, but coming from someone with dry skin, it's a blessing for me. So the fact that this can turn any foundation I have into like a nice canvas and lock the moisture in my face is an A++. Plus it's only $6, so you can't really go wrong there. To go with face products, at the same time as I picked that up, I picked up this, which I've been meaning to try for months and months now, and that's the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, the Dewy and Smooth. This foundation was only $5 at Walmart, which is where I picked it up, and like everybody raves about it, and I kept putting it off because I'm like, you know, I don't really need to spend the money on a new foundation when I already have other foundations. But somehow I ran out of pretty much every other foundation I own at the same exact time, and I really actually needed another foundation, so I decided to finally try this guy out, and I feel like my life has changed forever. This is in the color 110 Porcelain, which is the lightest color that they have, and look, it is actually white enough for my pale ass face, and it is a little warm toned, which I have a neutral undertone, so sometimes when things are too warm toned they can pull me way too yellow, and sometimes when they're pink toned they look really wrong and make me look way too pink. I found that I like looking a little bit more yellow because it looks a little more natural than having like a pink face. So this is like more, it's like more leaning towards warm, which sometimes if I put too much on looks wrong, but I don't like a heavy coverage I like just a light dusting of this, and I find that that's perfect. It's the foundation that I'm wearing today. You can see that it makes me look dewy. With the primer, it stays on a really long time. It stays on all day in combination with the hydrating face primer from e.l.f. And I just love it. It does exactly what it says it does. All the claims that are on this bottle, I feel like it does. It hydrates and smooths skin's texture and natural luminous finish, and I 100% agree with that, and I am so glad that I found this. It's changed my life. I love it. I probably wouldn't wear it on its own without a primer though, to be honest, because if you don't set it, it stays a little bit tacky, and it does transfer to things. Like, I forgot to set it when I was out with my family the other night, and I went to hug somebody and it got a little bit on their jacket and I felt terrible. And the other complaint I have with this is that there is no pump. Come on, Maybelline, it is the 21st, it's 2017. Get with a pump. Do you see how messy that makes this? It just, foundations without pumps or foundations that aren't squeezy tubes, I just don't understand, because it just makes a huge mess. Like, come on, like Maybelline. I love your products, and I actually got my friend Christina, when I visited her in Virginia, she picked up the matte and poreless of this because she's oily and she loves it too, but come on, there needs to be a pump. Okay, rant over. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to a mascara favorite, which I was gifted this by my mom. My mom lives across the street from an Avon lady. She gave her this Avon True Color Wide Awake mascara in the color brown, and I had been looking for a good lower lash mascara that doesn't smudge, and so I figured, hey, Avon is like more high-end than I'm used to trying mascaras, so I'll try it. Look at this crazy brush too. Like, look at the brush. It's in the color brown, which I thought, I normally don't wear brown mascara, but for the bottom lashes, like, whatever, I like it to be a little more natural, so I gave it a try. Every single mascara known to man that I have ever tried in my entire life, I've tried so many from the drugstore, even the Benefit They're Real mascara, which never smudges on my top. Anytime I put mascara on the bottom lash line, it just smudges. It doesn't matter what kind of mascara it is. I've tried so many, but this actually doesn't smudge on the bottom, and I do like that it's brown. It's in the color brown black, so it's a really dark brown. It looks really natural, because sometimes I can go a little too crazy with it under the lower lash line mascara. This is like a godsend, and I'm gonna have to like commit when I run out of this, because it was a gift. Commit and actually buy it, because it is the only lower lash mascara, or only mascara I've tried on my lower lashes that just doesn't smudge. Like I told you, I've been wearing this makeup for over 5 hours now, and there's absolutely no flaking or smudging of this mascara under my eyes at all. And normally by like hour 2, it doesn't matter what mascara I had, it would just be like a complete mess under my eyes. So I'm just really happy with that in general. Now my last two makeup favorites are both liquid lip. The past couple of months I have liquid lipsticks, tongue twister, have become a trend in around like what, 2015, and I didn't hop on the bandwagon until now, but I have two. This Brian actually got me this for my birthday, and I wore it so much in January, and I just love it. It's the NYX Lip Lingerie in the color Embellishment, which is one of their most popular shades. It is just a really nice mauve shade. I don't know, it's very like 90s teen witch, like that's what the vibe that it gives me. I'll swatch it for you. I don't know. I actually wore it to a couple conventions. On my lips, like it pulls like really warm on my hand here, but on my lips it pulls like very cool toned, which is funny because in the tube it just looks kind of neutral, doesn't it? But on my lips it looks more cool tone. I'll insert a picture of me wearing it. I wore it to record a bunch of videos for my other channel, and I wore it out to PAX. I don't know, I think this formula is pretty decent. I can wear it all day without it crumbling off, and I can reapply over it, which is really nice because sometimes you can't apply over liquid lipsticks because they just crumble off and it becomes a huge mess. The staying power is pretty good, and I find that on me anyway, it dries down to be completely matte after about like hour 5 wearing it. I find that it becomes a little too unbearable and I have to take it off, but that's just me with any not even liquid lipstick, just any lipstick in general. I don't like how it feels on my lips after a certain amount of time. And the same way with clothes. I can only wear like this sweater, I probably can only get about 5 hours of wear of it before I'm just like ready to take it off. That's just me with how things feel on me in general. I'm very sensitive to like how things feel long wearing. Can get a good like 5 to 6 hour wear before I'm just completely done with it. So normally I'll wear it like all day, and then when we go out to dinner and it starts to come off a little bit at dinner, I just will take it off and just leave it off. But if you're looking for like a good 90s mauve teen witch kind of color, I really recommend this one. I love it. I know they came out with 6 new shades of the lip lingerie, and I did pick up another one when I had a gift card. I'm gonna film that video after this. I have a haul video, and so I picked up another color, and I'm really worried that it's going to look really bad on me, but that's a whole different story. I digress. Anyway, the other liquid lipstick that was my favorite in January, I actually wore this at PAX. I really, really like it, and a lot of people give this liquid lipstick shit, and I don't even know if they make it anymore. I'm pretty sure they discontinued it because they came out with a new range of liquid lipsticks, but that is the Wet n Wild Mega Last liquid lip color, and this is the shade Cherry on Top. I picked this up at Five Below not that long ago, probably just like a couple months ago. I know they still have them at Five Below, and this is just a really nice classic red, and this formula got so much shit. I know I saw so many people hated it. Here, I'll swatch it for you. Look at that red. It's just such a nice red. I wore this at PAX when I was there, and I found that the reason people hate this so much is because it does have the tendency to crumble off if you apply too much. Now the key is to make sure that you have a really good lip balm underneath. You should put it on like 30 minutes before you do your makeup. Put on your lip balm, let it sink in, and then by the time you're ready to do your lips, it's the perfect base. And having really hydrated lips really made a difference. It didn't crumble off, it stayed on all day, and it didn't wear off weird in any spots. I will post a picture of like it about 5 hours of wear, so you can see that it was like still completely perfect. It didn't bother my lips. I know a lot of people said it felt like they were wearing like like paint on their lips, and you know, that's just personal preference. It is a $4 liquid lipstick, and I actually was really happy with it. So I'm not sure. I'm actually gonna Google to see if this is a discount. It looks like you can still buy this on the Wet n Wild website in all of the colors. It's $3, which I think is a great deal for a liquid lipstick that actually like dries down completely matte and stays on all day. I know they have their new range of the catsuit liquid lipsticks, which are $5, which I'm dying to try those to see if they're any better. I know I've heard that they're a lot better, but $3, I was pretty impressed, guys. Like, honestly, you can't expect the world out of a $3 product. I mean, if it ends up being really good, that's great, but like, I spent $3 on this Bonita Cosmetics, I mean, even made a video on it, the Bonita Cosmetics Velvet Lip Cream, and this was supposed to be a liquid lipstick, and it had the hardest learning curve that I've ever encountered. So having a liquid lipstick that crumbles off a little bit, that doesn't make a complete mess like this did, is a winner in my book. So I don't know. I don't know why I'm sounding so salty in this, like, about this, but like, I don't know. It just in my opinion, and in my experience with this product, I love it. Anyway, end of rant. Okay, I'm trying to think of any other favorites I had this month. Those were all my beauty favorites. I'm trying to think of any other favorites I had this month. K-pop, TV shows, movies, I don't know. January is always a terrible month, you know, like you always go into like the post-holiday blues and the weather just sucks. In my personal life, I got to go to Virginia to visit my friend and stay with her for about a week, and that was a lot of fun, and we got to go see GOT7, which was amazing. It was on their meet and greet tour in America, and I had like a really good time. It was just amazing. We actually made a video of it and have like concert footage from it, so I'll link that in the description. And obviously I got to go to PAX South at the end of this month, at the end of January, and even though I was sick, you can kind of still hear that I'm a little sick. Even though I was sick during it, it was still an amazing time. I get to see all my friends, and I got to see Brian do a signing, which so many people came to, and it was just so amazing to see that, and I was so proud of him. I don't know, even though January is always a very depressing month to me, and I have a lot of hard time like living through winter, I think I got to do a lot of really fun stuff and have a lot of great experiences, so I'm really grateful for that. So even though it's already like halfway through February and no one really cares about January favorites or January at all anymore, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you liked it, and let me know if you like favorites videos at all or what have you. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay cheap and lazy. Bye! Excuse me.